Building off the idea of the great street comes the idea of a great city, a place where people want to be. Our citizens and city are ready to continue expanding and building a place for everyone. Motorists will appreciate the new roadway networks and expanded bridges. The city is breaking ground on a new subway rail yard, which will be the start of a mass transit system. This system will be accessible to all people with different abilities to get them around our great city in speed and comfort. Finally, our city is ready to welcome future students to the new medical university. My name is Pilot Build Cities, but you can call me Pilot. Let's get started. So here we are in our Great Street area that we built in the last episode, and thanks again so much for the support on that episode. It's been really performing well on YouTube, and I'm quite happy that you guys enjoyed it. I did do a little extra zoning off camera just because of the ground pollution. Just talking with a fellow creator, found out that it takes 2 years in game for it all to dissipate. So we have some offices here, as well as some higher density commercial, and then I was able to put in some high density residential back here. Down here we have just some shorter high density residential, a little bit of low rent housing, and then some lower density housing along here, or sorry, medium density around here, and a little low density commercial. And I think that pretty much will do it. So I'm just gonna come out of the camera mode. And yeah, I basically just placed down a little bit of some landscaping as well. Nothing too crazy, some paths here just to kind of jumpy fill out the rest of the map. And I did end up adding even just a little bit more parking over here as well. So there's another lot here, a few more in the front just for all the employees at the vehicle factory, which is starting to get better efficiency. We still have, looks like 1 or 2, 3 warning symbols left, so I think it's just taking some time for the simulation to update as we expand the industry area here. So we're actually just going to quickly transition over to the first part of today's build as I just pan across the city here. And I built this industry area a long time ago, and honest to God, I don't know why, because it's pretty ugly. Not really a fan, and there has been some complaints in this neighborhood of some smoke and smog, sorry. So I'm just gonna pause the game here real quick, and we're gonna de-zone all of this. If I just grab the right tool as well, and make sure I don't accidentally de-zone something up over there. But yeah, we'll take out all these buildings here, and then I'm gonna demolish the roadway network as well. Just not best intentions sometimes with these, but every once in a while you just have to stand back and look at your city and be like, no, I don't like that. And that's okay. We can slate it to some redevelopment later in the series. I've got a few plans still for this whole town to go, so we'll just painfully try and get rid of all these if they would just highlight. Thank you, game, and be gone, please. There we go, and I'll just see if this, yeah, that needs electrical connection. So I'll leave the wind turbine, help generate some power to hopefully still. Looks like we are still exporting quite a bit, so that's great. So leave that connected, and yeah, thankfully that ugliness is gone. So just a few other things. I did also add in some public transit. So we do have a bus that runs here to this island now that comes basically from our Great Street actually down through this area of the downtown and then to this island for now. It terminates here. As we expand more, we will look at possibly adding a few more lines. And finally, just other small change. I put some districts down over the downtown, so we have Birdsong Terrace and Willow Square here. If you guys want to give me some name suggestions, we can definitely add those in. If you can make them aviation related, that's even better. And I added the policy of roadside parking here just for a little extra revenue in the city, and Willow Square here has speed bumps just to kind of take down the speed in this area as well. So that, yeah, that's basically all I did off camera. So today we'll be focusing our attention kind of just on this area here, and we won't be getting too much zoning done. This will mostly be an infrastructure build, and we'll save the rest for a later date. But the first thing I want to do is get some roads upgraded. So the map comes with this highway here, and it's a little bit lower capacity, and I'd like to take it up a bit higher. So I'm going to pause the game first, and we're just going to wipe out the bridge here first, and we'll also just delete actually right up to there as well. And probably kind of the same thing back here. Why don't you just take the whole thing out? And I'd like to put the new bridge in. So if we come into our highways, we'll grab the 2-lane, one-way suspension bridge, because it's really hard to say. Turn on our parallel mode, and they do, I think it was 1 unit apart. I think it might actually be 2. Yeah, for some reason it just doesn't like to line up all that well. So if we actually just line up with the guideline there, should be able to come straight across. And we don't really need to do too much sloping, which is nice. This is actually a pretty flat area if we come into our terrain lines for the for the most part. I wouldn't say it's perfect, but so we'll get that into place. And then if we just grab our 2-lane highway, and we'll come into the simple curve. We'll come here again and see if we can just sort of line ourselves up with the guideline there. I might just have to try and eyeball it a little bit, but yeah, this one isn't quite the right distance apart, but that's okay. So we'll just back that up a little bit, come back into our highway mode, and we'll turn off the parallel mode. And once we can find the nice guideline, we'll just hook it in like so. And yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We'll do the same thing on this side. Just in some other preparation, we'll come into our landscaping tools here, and we'll come to level terrain, and we'll grab a pad real quick, probably right about here at this height, and we'll just flatten that out, and then kind of straight across on the other side, flatten that pad as well. And we'll just come into our medium roads, and we'll grab the 4-lane arch bridge, and we'll take that right across as well. And we'll just stub that road in for now. We'll come back to that in a little bit. Next, we'll be focusing on putting in a park low in this area. So come into our highway roads, and we'll upgrade for some exit ramps. And I'm just kind of looking at, I'm gonna pause this real quick, just see if I can get this maybe to look a little tiny bit nicer. Using our curve road tool, we'll come out straight at 180 until we kind of catch that guideline the best we can. It might be a little bit difficult. We'll try there and just sort of hook that in. Looks a tiny bit better. And then we'll upgrade for some exit lanes. So we'll probably put some there, maybe here as well, and then the same thing on the other side, like that. And then we'll take this road over top, and we'll just do a little terraform on the one side, just to kind of maybe give ourselves a little bit of flatter landing pad, just right in about this area here. And we'll grab our 4-lane divided road for now, and we'll take that down to the right elevation height if the step set properly. 8.75 seems to be enough to get across, so we'll leave ourselves a bit of space on each side, and that does give us a nice pillar in the middle as well. And take that out to about there. You can see that looks pretty nice. And then what we are going to do as well is we'll come in to our curve road tool, and we'll just curve this down slope basically right into this highway here. And we will put that, let's put that right about there. And we'll come back to that in a bit. We'll connect it up a bit better. And same thing on this side. We'll just take it, oops, sorry, you weren't supposed to see that. We'll take that right down and see if we can get a nice slope out of it. If we maybe just back this road up a tiny bit, and then come into our landscaping tools, and we'll slope up to about there from here, which will allow me. side. So we'll come straight out and down. And if we just maybe get this curving towards here, and let's do the complex curve. So we'll click it once, line it up, click it again. Oh, that was not supposed to do that. Let's try that again. Oh man. Love the road tools. Sometimes they don't always do what I want though. But we'll get that hooked in there. Come to that guideline. Again, take it right to ground level. Yeah, that should work out pretty good. It's a bit steep, but that's okay. And then we'll raise the terrain just a little bit up to this height if we... Oh gosh. Oh no. What is... What happened? Alright, that was not planned. I don't know what happened there. That got stuck, but anyways. Nobody panic. Situation normal. Wow, that was unexpected. Okay, I don't know if I dare go back into this. I'm gonna take that strength rate down and just click briefly a few times to try and raise that up. Oh god. There we go. And just wanted that to be the same height as the roads. Oh god, that scared me. What is happening? But anyways, and we just wanted to take this height, and we'll just slope up nicely too, as well. Oh boy, City Skylines 2, never a dull moment. And then we'll also slope it back down the other way as well. Do the same thing on this side. That's gonna rattle me for several minutes, sorry. Okay, so I just need to soften this a little bit. And then next we'll get some roads hooked in. So grab our highway roads, we'll grab the asymmetric, and we'll just try and come out at a decent angle, maybe about... we'll come straight down here, that should be fine with what I have in mind for the design. And then come to our curve road tools to about there, and then we'll grab the 1-lane highway. We'll just snap it in like so. Same thing, kind of heading the other direction, and we might need to just soften this a little bit, possibly even just sort of flatten it out for now. Maybe even slope it that direction now, and then come back into our roads. And about there, and we might just have to change where that entrance lane goes, but about there should do. And then we'll just fix the direction. I think, yeah, it might not totally like what I've done. Alright, just giving myself a bit more space worked, and then I placed on this roundabout. So I'm going to do the same thing on this side. We'll come out from here and point it straight at the road. And then I've pre-sloped. I just need to add some of the lanes here. And let's hope this works. It's a bit of a well-intentioned project. Sometimes the execution just doesn't quite go the way you want it. So a lot of train smoothing and fixing probably off camera again that I won't bore you guys with, but yeah, sometimes, you know, I don't normally build a lot of interchanges vanilla, you know, I usually, City Skylines 1, I used a lot of modding to do it, and that usually worked out quite well, and, you know, this game is a tiny bit different, and that's okay. We'll get that placed in there, and get that roundabout down, and we'll just try and sort of smooth out this monstrosity the best I can. But a little bit later on, we'll also do some detailing, so I'll probably come back through and make sure this is all connected properly. But now that we have the connection established over here as well, we'll just do a little bit of cleanup as well. There we go. Got that all connected up for now. Bit of tearing. Yeah, I'll clean this up a bit later, but that's kind of what we have for there. And then now that this is in here, we can see what the plan was for this road there. So we'll grab a road and get this one hooked in as well. And we should be able to sort of just bring that straight into there. And yeah, that looks pretty good there. And then over on this side, again using our slope terrain tool, we'll slope quite a large curve there. Pretty happy with that. So got our collectors hooked up and our new interchange down. Next, we're going to get started building in this area, and one of the things I'd like to add is a medical university. So we're going to come into our progression milestones here and the development tree. And under education, we're going to unlock the medical university. As well, our city is experiencing some issues with crime, so we're going to grab a police headquarters in here as well. And that'll be kind of the plan for this area here. We're just going to get our basic roadway network down and place these two assets. And in future episodes, we're going to come back and actually finish building in this whole area. But yeah, again, as kind of mentioned earlier, this is mostly just an infrastructure episode, so we're just going to get basically these things down, and then we'll come back later on and get everything upgraded. So I'm going to grab the 2-lane, one-way road. I'll just grab probably straight out from there. We'll take that at a 90-degree angle all the way down to there. And that should work out nicely. And then if we grab the medical university, it's quite a large asset, so we'll try and get this place, and I'm hoping it snaps to the right terrain height there. And this also unlocks the pharma building, which is actually perfect because this was part of the plan as well. So let's take a look at that signature building real quick. So is a pharmaceutical production endeavoring to make products accessible to all. This has a positive effect on citizen health and well-being. So it gives +1 university graduation chance, +5 interest in university education, and +2 industrial efficiency citywide. This does feature some ground and air pollution, quite a heavy amount. So we're actually going to place it well over here, where we initially were going to place the car factory that we moved, and we'll kind of just plop that back up here for now, and we'll get that in place and into our city. We'll come back over here, and the next thing I just want to add is the police HQ. So if we come back into here, we'll probably need to smooth out quite a bit more land, and this is getting a little bit of an aggressive slope, but that's okay. We'll kind of play with some layers of height likely in this area in a future episode, so not too worried about that. We'll grab this 2-lane road here. We'll just wrap it around the building for now, down to about there. Put that there, and that'll take away that complaint about the access. And then if we come into police headquarters, again, quite a large building. We'll place it here at the back for now. And again, we'll clean this all up. And what I'd like to do is add the helipad upgrade in, just so that we have a bit more coverage for our city. And this should quite make our citizens quite happy. And at this point, we kind of have a lot of money anyways. So But yeah, that's basically all we're gonna put in for here today. I'll just take this road down here so that symbol goes away and stops annoying me. But in future episodes, we'll come back and fully detail and build this whole area. I've got a lot of cool plans for the waterfront as well. So next to the pharma building that we placed, one thing I was looking at as well is our internet coverage is quite poor. And being that this is kind of a mountain build, it's a little bit difficult to place the towers in nice areas. So what we're actually going to do is a lot of upgrades from the development tree today. We're going to grab the server farm as well, and we're going to place that in this area. And if we look at this asset when we grab it, it does enhance the internet coverage by quite a bit there, and that'll kind of help us when we place some towers to hopefully need to kind of place less than we have in the past. So if we can just find a nice spot for this to sit, I think if we snap it to, well, it's not really snapped to the road, but we'll bring it back and we'll kind of tuck it in next to the pharma building, kind of get that as close as we can there. And then again, we'll get some roads around this, like so. Probably take that straight down into there. And then, so I don't forget, so that you don't have to remind me, we'll place some parking along the front here as well for both buildings. And then we'll grab a pedestrian path. We'll just get some pedestrian paths going so there's some walkability going, and maybe we'll look at adding just a little bit more parking next to the pharma building as well. Little small lots, and just kind of like that. And then what I'll do as well, so we don't miss an opportunity, is we'll just take a couple alley roads, and we'll place some smaller medium density, or sorry, low density offices and some low density commercial in there. And if we can kind of just take some paths, force the zoning to the other road, and we can also add a little bit more in here as well, just to kind of give this area some detail. And also an opportunity to add some roads in behind the server farm. We'll just leave that to dead end there, and we'll try and wrap this around a bit too. Struggle to make the zoning look nice, but anyways. We'll place those in there as well. Let that all grow in, and then we can probably connect the roads here at the back a bit better. And I think this is a better use for this area than the car factory. It's a little, again, like out of town, but this is a bit of a smaller building. There's only 10 employees here, and still waiting for someone to move into this one, but same thing. It's probably not too large. I hope this building isn't glitched. I haven't actually looked, to be honest. But you never know these days. So put down a little bit more commercial there, a little office there, and then maybe on this side, oops, what we have for roads, get these hooked in as well. And yeah, that basically is all I really need in that area. If we come into this view here, so I have a cell tower here. I'd like to see if we can just maybe move it somewhere to a bit more appropriate. If we kind of maybe add one down by this farm, maybe even over by this farm here, I'll kind of cover that area a bit better. And if we come into this view again, we could probably maybe squeeze one down over here as well. Just one of the basic ones should hopefully help. And we'll put some upgrades into that. Like so. And I think that'll probably do for now. So our final plan for today is we're going to start a subway system. And again, I kind of like this build style City Skylines, where it's City Skylines 2 anyways, where, you know, we don't just kind of put everything in at once. Like, I really kind of try to approach this game with, like, you know, it takes time to development. Like, you got to build the subway yard first, and then you'd have to build the lines. And so we're not going to put everything in all at once for this episode today. So we'll just get the subway yard placed and just trying to find a good spot sort of to place it in here. We might try and just terraform out a bit better here, just so there's some more space for us to work with. And as much as I don't really want to buy a hotel that I don't need, just scrap that one anyways, and that'll give us a little bit of flexibility here. So yeah, if we just angle that, probably, I think right there looks good. And we see what we have for upgrades. We have the maintenance hall, so that'll make maintenance faster. We can add that in. And yeah, good thing we planned on that because this needs extra space as well. So put that there. And the tracks, that fits within the footprint of the building, so we will hold off on that one for now. So we'll get a road placed here. We'll just use a curve road tool. We'll hook that there for now. And yeah, I think if we maybe just grab a few of the lines. We'll grab this dual track here, take that out a bit, and then we'll try and kind of send it underground. And maybe I'll just take that up just a tiny bit. So that the slope isn't too crazy. Maybe to about there. Looks like it goes cut and fill. Might have to start that a little sooner. Come back ground level. We'll just take it kind of down until it goes tunnel mode, and then we'll try and take that to about there. And if we just curve a little bit, we'll just leave that there for now. And I don't know why that broke the zoning over here. I don't know if I can. I don't even know what's wrong with that building. Your zoning looks fine, but sure, complain. Let someone else grow in, maybe. I don't know. Looks like the zoning from that building took over, but anyways. City Skylines, everyone. And we'll grab just a couple more tracks here. We'll just try and hook them in the best we can. And it might not really like that too much. Okay, I'll have to explore with that one a little bit. And maybe in the upcoming detailing time lapse we can address that. But yeah, that's the start of our subway yard, and we'll get some items placed around that as well. But I'm going to transition to detailing time lapse. We'll clean up a lot of stuff, and the train will do some detailing around the interchange, this area. We'll clean up around the pharma building as well. And yeah, get things ready to go. Alright, so for our detailing review, there's not really much to go over. I did add bus lanes to this road here. We have a lot of our mass transit that now runs, if we would go into the right menu to see it. A lot of our mass transit does run on this road now to head off onto the highways, as well as the bus that runs up into our rural town now has this convenient and faster connection. So I wanted to make sure that this was prioritized for buses, and then I tried and slightly failed at trying to put some roadway networks in here, so a little bit stumped in and a little bit of terraforming, but in the next episode we're going to be building in this whole area focused here, so yeah, we'll get this cleaned up, not to worry, but that's basically it for the most part. Subway yard, got a lot of the rails hooked in. It did look like for the one-way tracks, even though it doesn't really tell you, that you have to kind of put them on the side where this yellow line is, where it lines up. If you come into the tracks here, I guess if I come out of underground mode, that probably would help as well. But you can see if I try and flip this one, not only do you get the warning, but then the lines don't line up here on this side, and this is part of the maintenance facility. So I'm assuming that's what needs to happen. So I've tried to connect them underground is here as well for a bit of a looping system, and then just added in a little bit of parking, a path up to here. There's a tram stop there, and then just a little bit of commercial and office, and I don't really want smokestacks there, so we might just take that down into office instead and replace you. And then just finally over, I guess, here in our pharma area, yeah, mostly the zoning has come in, a few paths around as well. We got our parking and all that stuff, so I actually really love this server farm. It's massive, but it looks really nice, and even now you can see we're making a ton of money, so we're really not too worried about how much we spent on this. But the company did move into the pharma building. Oh, it does actually have quite a few workers in there, so they're probably going to be competing for the well-educated and highly educated. But the good thing is, with the recent patch, if we maybe just check our education real quick, high school is going to start getting to be used more. We've got a lot of capacity for the college and the university now, so that should help us there. Hopefully as the game runs, more people will want to go to high school as well. But yeah, overall pretty happy with how this build is coming together. Mostly infrastructure, so I apologize if that's not really your thing or you're not really all that interested in it, but I think I'm really excited to see where the city is gonna go. So thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time. Take care. Bye bye.